Today, we use AES, Advanced Encryption Standard, to encrypt almost anything that we put on the internet, like social security numbers, credit card numbers, and so on. So the question I'm asking is, should we worry about this AES thing? It is an algorithm. It current standard today uses 128 bits. What does that mean? To use 128 bits, is that enough to make sure that we are not going to be hacked? Well, if we use 1 bit, think about it for a second. It can either be on or off. So if we try the on bit, doesn't work, we try the off bit. If we use 2 bits, we'll try two off, and then we'll try one on, one off, and then we'll try another off on, and then we'll try on and on until we get the right one. Now, here we have the sample size is only 4. One of those is going to work. If we use 3 bits, we're going to have a bigger sample size. In this case, we're going to have a total of 8, and one of those is going to work. If we have 4-bit encryption, we're going to get a sample size of 16 possibilities, and one of those is going to work. Now, to go through one at a time and finding the one that's going to work is called brute force. Now, of course, the more bits you have, the more possibilities you're going to have to try. Now, today, for AES, we use 128 bits. Of course, we're going to have a huge sample size. The sample size that we're going to have is this number right here, 3.4 times 10 to the power of 38. That's a huge sample size. Now, I've given you a little bit more here because AES can even use 256-bit encryption. Now, let's leave that for a second. Let's come to the right here. Here I talk a little bit about the fastest computer we have in the world. Today, the fastest computer that we have in the world is in China. And that computer will run at 33.86 petaflops per second. Now, that's a lot. That's fast. Now, what does that mean? It means that 33.86 times 10 to the power of 15 flops per second. Now, what are flops? Flops is floating point operation per second. Okay, now think about this. 33.86 times 10 to the power of 15 in 1 second. Now, we know in 1 minute we have 60 seconds. And in 1 hour, we have 360 seconds. And in 1 day, we have 360 times 24 seconds. In 1 year, we have 360 times 24 times 365. Now, let's take this number for a second and multiply it by this number that we have up here to get the speed of the computer in a year. Right? So if we take 33.86 times 10 to the power of 15 times the number of seconds in 1 year, we'll get the speed of that computer, that fastest computer in 1 year. And I do that at the bottom right here. And if you do multiply this out, you will get a number that is around 10 to the power of 24. Okay, 10 to the power of 24, that's a huge number. That's a very fast computer. Now, think about this for a second. Let's look at what we are saying. For 128 bits, the top line here represents the number of possibilities. This number right here. The bottom here is the speed of the fastest computer in the world. I'm taking the top number, I'm dividing it by the bottom number to get how many years it's going to take to go through this iteration. I'm going to try all of these using the fastest computer. I'm going to see how many years is it going to take me to go through this number of tries, possibilities. When you divide this out, you get a big number. You get over 1 trillion years to do that. Well, we are safe, right? I mean, think about this for a second. If we take 128-bit encryption, we have a total of 3.4 times 10 to the power of 38. We take the fastest computer, we throw it at this thing, and we find out that it's going to take over 1 trillion years to break it, to be able to find the right key out of this huge sample size. So, is it safe? Well, yeah, so far so good. Let me explain this a little bit more. Let's suppose now we give every person in the world one of those fastest computer, the super computer. And how many people do we have in the world? We have about 7 billion people. Let's round it off to 10 billion. 10 billion is 10 to the power of 10. Now, let's take that number now. We know the speed of the fastest computer. We multiply it by, 10 billion people and see what kind of speed can we get to break that 128-bit encryption. Divide it out again. Excuse me. What do we get? We get 34 million years to break that 128-bit encryption if we were to give everybody in the world one of these fastest computer. I feel safe. So, let's look at a conclusion here. Yes, of course, we can use brute force on AES. But what would it take to break it, to find the right key in this huge sample size? It will take all of us, every person in the world, to stand still for 1 million years. Well, actually, a few million years. And that's impossible. Think about this for a second. It's impossible. So, are we safe? We are safe. For right now, with the current technology, we are safe.